Alrighty, so I've been working on the Nidhogg boss quite a bit recently. I have been doing at least floor 2 every week for the past three or 4 weeks, I want to say. So I have already beat it this week, and I am currently sitting on, well, you can see my team that I've been using here. Unfortunately, the non-goddess team that I made a video on not too long ago, it's just a little bit inconsistent when it comes to the second floor. At least for me, it's a lot faster to use this team, even though it's still not considerably faster because it's a lot of RNG involved and everything. If I had 5-6 or 6-6 on Mael, I think it would be a lot better because you can use his passive with the gray stacks or whatever, which is fantastic. But I obviously have enough materials to be able to make one Holy Relic. Honestly, if I could find a really consistent team for floor 1, which I'm sure there is one, I just need to look around for one, I can probably try to farm out enough of these dark red crystals so that way I can make a second one. But you can see I already have 30 of these, which is twice as much as you need to make a relic. So the first relic I'm going to end up making is, I think, going to be Ominous Nebula Zeldris. I really like Assault Mode Meliodas, but at the same time, I don't really use him, and it's a no-brainer that Purgatory Meliodas is just better in basically every aspect. As much as I really enjoy running Assault Mode and how fun he is, I just think for actual core value of the Demon team, which is the team that I tend to gravitate towards whenever I'm actually playing PvP on my own and not making videos and stuff like that, I tend to use the Demon team, which means that Ominous Nebula Zeldris is kind of just like the best choice at the moment. So I gained around 2,000 CC there. I'm at 67.5, which is actually pretty considerable because I was using, or normally I would say that I really like using Festival Zeldris, which is almost about the same CC now because I have an HP defense set that I use on him. So, honestly, we're in a much better spot. Normally, I would try to gravitate towards Festival Zeldris because of that extra CC that I would get. But now, I have like 200 less CC, and it'll go up as I eventually pull extra copies of this character. But because I think he's considered a seasonal character for some reason, which is very bizarre to me. Yeah, my CC should be in a pretty good space, and I think this character is just going to be a little bit more useful, PvP-wise, of course, because obviously his passive is PvP only, but he's a little bit more, you know, you can throw him in the, I mean, well, I guess Festival Zeldris is also considered to be a backline unit too, but this character is a little bit more just like, throw him in, you don't have to worry about getting debuffs or anything like that, whereas, like, if I use Festival Zeldris, if I use Demon Chandler, if I use Demon Cusack, for example, all of those characters need more debuffs on the team to be able to really work as much. Well, actually, I don't know that Demon Cusack works quite that way. I think you do need debuffs on the enemies, but he has like a basic... Wait, no, you don't have to have debuffs on them at all, actually, which is really, really good. Because I think the top people end up using Demon Cusack in the backline, which is, I think, what I'm going to end up doing. Obviously, there's a reason why people do it, but let me hop over to PvP a little bit. We'll just do a little bit of geared PvP, because there's obviously a rule in ungeared at the moment, which is unfortunate, because I would like to try to grind towards the 60 gems for the week, but it is what it is. Give me just a minute or two, and we'll kind of test this thing out. Alright, so it looks like without CC food, I'm at 341, which is pretty solid. I'm pretty happy with that. Obviously, all of these characters are running HP defense sets. I did swap over the association units all to HP defense as well, which is very good for me. I don't know if there's any sort of updates that I need to do to combat class or anything for cards. Doesn't look like it. But if we throw on some CC food, of course, which is... I really hate that PvP is so dependent on CC. We have 382,656, which is very, very, very commendable, I think, anyway. The only thing that's holding me back on this team, I think, is, I mean, obviously box CC is an equation, but ultimate levels is also a little bit of my, you know, downfall here, because I have a 2-6 melee. I have been able to pull some extra copies of Estarossa recently, so he is now at 4-6, I want to say. We have a 2-6 on the Zeldris, and then I have a 1-6 Demon Cusack, because, you know, none of those banners were really, like, well, I mean, the Zeldris and the Cusack banner were not anything super crazy to go for, so, you know, obviously it is what it is. If I was a big whale and I knew that I was going to use the demon team like very consistently overall, you know, you would skip a lot of like regular banners and stuff like that and just go straight for any like demon character that comes out if you think they're going to be useful. So, because I play as a content creator, though, I kind of have to summon for other characters, even if I'm not really going to use them too much. But I don't really mind that. I think having a lot of characters and stuff like that is obviously part of the fun of the game in a lot of ways. So getting rid of my Estarossa here, which is not great. Going for the AoE as well, so he's donezo. That's unfortunate. I was gonna hopefully be able to encroach there, but we can get rid of his Estarossa as well. We're just gonna be kind of a turn behind, unfortunately. Ooh, can I even do this the way that I want to do this? I don't know that I can. I imagine we can still kill Estarossa here. We do put a debuff on the melee. Can we kill? We can. Nice. That was really close, actually. So that worked out for me pretty good. So obviously that's very nice. He's running the double AoE Hendrickson, which I can respect, honestly. I think that's awesome. I don't really see a whole lot of people use that at all anymore, but, you know, obviously, whatever works for you. Honestly, the game is just here to have fun. I commend anyone who can just play the game and sort of use unorthodox characters and try to actually just enjoy their time. Because obviously a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people play meta stuff like, unfortunately, the demon team that I'm using right now. But, you know, some people just want to have fun with the game, and I completely understand why they would want to do so. But yeah, let's hop into another one maybe. I've got a couple of extra tickets. We'll just use what we have because I was messing around with some PvP earlier. Alrighty, so ooh, we have a human team here. I imagine, yeah, I can out-CC pretty easily here. Honestly, Rudius is not even a real threat as long as I can get some early damage out on him. Getting his Flood card sort of knocked down a bit is so bad. Like, Rudius has so much potential, but when it comes to, like, actually being able to get damage off, as long as you deal some early damage to him, he's not going to do nearly as much as he would have. So with this amount of HP and this amount of darkness stacks, we've got a lot of extra stats increased, and so he's probably not going to be able to do much to us. He's going to have to rely on Escanor here at this point, but it is what it is. I typically tend to... well, obviously I have the Holy Relic now, and I would like to get some use out of it, but ideally, a lot of the times I end up using Chandler, regular Chandler, instead of... the whatchamacallit, the Zeldris, and then I throw Festival Zeldris in the back, so that way I can actually get a little bit more. Actually, I think if we do it, well, I can't use that first because it'll merge me, unfortunately. Let's just do it like this then. But yeah, typically I would use Chandler just because he's a lot bulkier, a lot harder to get through. His Holy Relic ended up being incredibly good for him, so that's awesome. But you know, it's if you're going for just pure damage output, then the Zeldris is going to be much better with the Cusack in the back. Whereas, you know, I get a lot more CC with the older characters because they either have Holy Relics at this point or I've just invested into them, or whatever the case may be. Which I think there's still some cosmetics that I need to max out on this Demon Cusack, of course, because when he first dropped, he looked pretty mediocre. But I do surprisingly have maximum cosmetics on, like I've got all UR maxed out cosmetics on the main three here, which is great for me. See, because he's using Demon Chandler, and I don't know who his backline unit is, he gets to out CC me here because the CC is just not as good. Because those characters are older, I have more ult levels on them, which means I get 400 extra CC per ult level. So yeah, it just kind of ends up being a little bit of an issue, unfortunately. He's not using a oh, he is using a Chandler taunt. Ooh, the fact that he disabled me there is kind of unfortunate because that means I can't taunt, or I can't infect. Infecting nowadays is so good. Like, it's legit so good. Who is your Tarmio link on? Okay, it's on your Estarossa. Understandable. I think we'll just do something like this. I mean, it puts you in a really bad spot too, because if you use counter Chandler, you're also in a fantastic position to where it puts extra, you know, encroachment stacks on. It's just, it's really, really good to have him if you can go first with him. So ideally, I think until I can get the Demon Cusack up higher, I'll probably throw Zeldris in the back line and then throw Chandler in the front line, because Chandler, with his Holy Relic, man, he's just so bulky, and if you get to go first, which is ideal, you have a really good chance of being able to, you know, survive a turn, put extra stacks on everybody, get more stats and everything like that. So unfortunately, yeah, I think I lose here. Yeah, he's got me dead to rights on this one, just because he gets to go first, which is just so dumb. Like, a lot of these characters, like when Estarossa came out, man, it was like everybody was using HP or an attack crit set on him, which was awesome, and I thought that was super, super cool. But at the end of the day, you know, you can't really do that nowadays, because you have to go first. Like, literally the only reason this guy was able to beat me is because he was able to go first. Like, if I was able to get really early easy stacks out on, you know, Chandler there, I would have been able to kill him like straight out of the gate, or at least on turn 2. But, you know, his stance is incredible. It's so good, and it's so funny too, because if you remember, if you were playing whenever he very first got released, he was actually incredibly OP. His counter did even more damage than it already does, which I think is crazy to think about. And they ended up having to nerf him. There was a time when they had to give 300 gems out to everybody, or I can't remember if it was 300 gems. They gave out a really good amount of gems to the whole JP player base, because they had to nerf the character after he came out, which was super, super uncommon for this game. But yeah, either way, he actually does have Festival Zeldris in the back with the Holy Relic as well. So yeah, that's pretty much probably what I'm going to end up going for myself. I don't know what his ultimate levels look like, of course, because I didn't check, but Zeldris' ultimate really doesn't do too much. It's starting to do a little bit more as time goes on. He's just becoming a better character, I think. Not that he's getting like buffs or anything like that, but out of curiosity, I'm going to look really quickly and let's see what my CC would have been if I was to use Chandler, to see if I would have out CC'd that guy, just for pure information's sake. So let's I'm at 382,000 right now. And then if I were to throw on Chandler, and I don't know who's a great link for Chandler. I think if we keep it with Escanor for now, yeah, I would have been at 385, which is a pretty decent bit of an increase. So yeah, I definitely think I'll run this team more than anything else as far as demons go for now, until I can invest, of course, more into Demon Cusack and get some ultimate levels on those characters. So I don't know, kind of a weird video, not necessarily like a PvP showcase per se, but more or less just me saying like, hey, you know, I've been working on Nidhogg painstakingly, because the game mode just that boss is terrible at the moment. I'm really hoping we get a Nidhogg unit soon, so it makes it easier. But yeah, first actual relic that I'm making with Nidhogg, because I do have the Freya relic, but I paid for that one just because I wanted to try to make Nidhogg as easy as possible. And honestly, the Freya relic is 100% worth it. She does so much damage, and she's so good for that fight. If you're using a full goddess team, it's incredible. So yeah, I don't know that I would go for anything other than that first if you're actually wanting to try and beat the game mode a little bit faster or more efficiently. It just really is that good. But yeah, I'm not like crazy big whale mode. Like I can't beat floor 3 every single week or anything like that. So I'm getting them a little bit slower than, you know, I know that a lot of the JP YouTubers, like Marilli, for example, he's able to beat it floor 3 every week. So he has, I want to say he's completely caught up on Nidhoggr Relics as well. So he's got, you know, the Molascular Relic and all of those other ones, which would be fun to mess around with, of course, but none of them are like super groundbreaking relics to me. They just seem like a little bit more fun than anything to kind of mess around with. None of them are like you have to have this relic, it's incredibly OP. Like none of them are like on the Chandler level. Like Chandler is a completely different character with his relic almost. Like it's incredible. But either way, I'm going to stop talking now. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on the Nidhogg boss, and maybe like what relic you would go for first. Maybe obviously barring the Freya relic, because I think that the Ominous Nebula Zeldris is a good pickup. He seems to be pretty future-proofed for now. I I don't know. We'll see kind of how it goes going forward and how the Demon team sort of progresses. Maybe we'll end up getting a character that just directly replaces him or something, which kind of hope not, but it is what it is if it happens. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys later.